On Saturday morning, more than 100 supporters of President Donald Trump took to Los Gatos Town Plaza Park to protest the results of the election, which Joe Biden won. But why now? The Electoral College affirming Biden's win 3 weeks ago was supposed to be the end of it, right? Said the people who forgot how far Trump's base is willing to go to keep him in office.
We're not gonna take it anymore. The Silicon Valley for Trump 2020 in the house, baby! Come join us! We are the party of love, and we're way more diverse than BLM and Antifa combined!
Even when Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell told Republican senators on a private call, "Don't do it," on December 30th, somebody did it. The youngest U.S. Senator, Josh Hawley from Missouri, said he would be objecting to the otherwise ceremonial Electoral College results certification in Congress on January 6th. Then fellow 2024 prospective candidate Ted Cruz said, wait, me too. And at that point, it was every man and woman for themselves. McConnell was pissed, obviously. He tried to get Hawley to explain himself on a conference call. But then they realized Hawley wasn't even on the call.
We're sorry.
Now, of course, these senators have their own reasons for contesting the election. The supporters who showed up to the Stop the Steal rally believe the election was fraudulent, even though the president and his legal team have so far been unable to convince any judges of this. Communism was also a big topic.
Seeing that America is on the brink of falling into communism is really heartbreaking. And America is always seen as a beacon of freedom to the whole world. And we hope, it keeps that way.
There were also counter-protesters across the street. And though they stayed across the street, Trump supporters physically confronted them again and again.
4 more years! 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 There's nothing you can do about it! 4 more years! We already did 4 more years! He voted! 4 more years! 4 more years! You guys lost! 4 more years! 4 more years!
Declare martial law, 8 more years.
And then the guy lost. He lost.
And
Al Gore would have
Beijing Biden! Beijing Biden! Beijing Biden!
Report libtards.
Fuck you, don't call her a bitch, asshole.
Fuck you!
Fuck you too, bitch.
Fuck you, bitch! You call her a bitch because she called me. Bitch!
What y'all, you hit her? What the fuck you hit her?
Bro, you just hit me in the head with a pipe.
You hit a female?
Yes, he did. And he's not doing the fucking head.
If he were to hit you, you would have been on the ground. So he didn't hit you. So don't
Take your ugly ass over there. Take your ugly ass over there. You see that phone?
Are you guys American?
Yeah.
Are you guys American or are you guys terrorists? Seriously, do you really think Biden won? Do you think Biden won?
Yes.
Do you guys really think he won?
Oh my God. Sweetheart, you think we like Biden either? Honey, no.
You don't like Biden?
No, fuck Biden.
Wait, what are you guys for? What are you guys here for?
We're here for the redistribution of wealth. We're here for the dismantling of a horrible system that's been oppressing people of color.
So you're communist?
Yeah, bitch, I am actually. I'm fucking proud of that
Well,
shit.
fuck you,
Anyway, so you're actually...
Anyways, and then what else?
We're here for dismantling a system that has been oppressing people of color, oppressing anyone in the minority, anyone who's been marginalized in our communities. We're here to dismantle a system that's been taking advantage of people.
Hey, what a bitch ass move right there. Fuck you guys, bitch.
Fuck you, bitch.
No, fuck you too, bitch.
Fuck you, bitch.
Hey, why is there so much hate? Why is there so much hate?
Thank you. That's not good. You can be here anywhere you want. You know that flies to Democrats.
Jesus.
Wow. This flies to Democrats. I'm not going to be
the Chinese that only applies to...
Well, we try to make those changes that bind us. You know, bro, we can still see you every time you move the flag. Like, that doesn't do anything, but it's really sad.
Do you believe that the masks keep people from getting it? Okay, well then you're not going to get it from me because you're wearing a mask.
No,
And I'm not going to get it from you because you're wearing a mask.
Wearing a mask, it's harder
they
for you
don't
to
care
spread it to
about
other
research
people.
because they don't care about numbers about
So this is for you. This is for us.
That's because you guys are brainwashed, and we're
I
praying
guess
for
we
you.
are the ones who are brainwashed.
Yes, sir. Yes,
I suppose
sir.
that makes more sense.
It does. It makes more sense.
The counter-protesters were eventually driven out, according to a person within the group. One of the counter-protesters had their face shoved in, unprovoked, when a group of a few men said the counter-protester was with, quote, BLM. I had recorded the assault, but the same person had corrupted my footage when he grabbed my camera and wouldn't let go. He said I was, quote, one of them because I had a face mask on. His friends eventually convinced him to let the camera go, and he left. But his friends stuck around, and I was able to capture this encounter with them and the counter-protester that had just been assaulted.
If you ain't fucking gonna respect that and what the fuck it gives you the right to do, then bounce. What the fuck is wrong with you? Are you that fucking stupid? Are you seriously young-minded fucking children that fucking dumb? Are you that brainwashed?
Why I showed up today?
Really? Well, I see who. Guess what? When you fucking hang out with fucking dogs with fleas, you get fucking fleas.
Some people show up to protect other people that are picking on kids.
Really? That's what we do too. That is not what you're here for. And that's how you burn a fucking flag?
That's a kid right there that you were picking on.
I didn't pick on anybody for one.
You didn't do anything to stop him?
Actually, you know what?
I believe I did.
Actually, check it out. So, violence is not the answer, but sure the fuck ain't burning
Really?
the flag
Because your
either.
friend over there?
Sure, there were a lot of white people at the rally, but the huge Vietnamese-American presence couldn't be ignored. Mihua Steger was there with the political action committee known as the Roach Pack, which has been historically anti-war, anti-big government, and lately, very pro-Trump.
I started with this organization during the Bush and Cheney years. Was very vocal about the anti-war policy, or actually, the invasion of Iraq. That's really when we started mobilizing. And then 8 years during Obama, we called for the impeachment of Obama because we totally disagreed with his drone assassination program, the bailout policy, his healthcare or lack of healthcare program. So we were activated during that period. And the first 4 years of President Trump, we've actually been defending him from day one.
And are your parents Trump supporters too?
I'm sorry, what?
Are your parents also Trump supporters?
No. Nobody in my family.
No, just you?
Just me. Just me by my lonesome. I have 3 brothers, nephews, parents, uncles, and nobody.
What do they think of your political work?
They try to ignore it. They don't want to talk about, they don't want to talk about it. I'm not really the kind of person that ruffles their feathers because it's so hard to organize family and friends because it's so emotional. So I talk to strangers. We go out, we talk to strangers. We set up tables, we come to these rallies, and there's really a pretty amazing dynamic.
The PAC members were passing out these flyers on Saturday. Think like Washington crossing the Delaware. It read, "If the globalist deep state forces, led by British financiers, are allowed to get away with usurping the vote, the resulting crisis will be global and generational, perhaps even existential."
If you think through what Washington and company did, Benjamin Franklin, that it is a true melting pot. And that's why you're seeing so many hyphenated Americans come out. Because you have a policy to end the wars. You have a policy to grow the industry, manufacturing capability of the country. So it's partly why.
And do you think President Trump won the election, or do you accept that Joe Biden won this election?
Landslide. No, we there's no exception there, because or acceptance.
Yeah.
No, President Trump won by a landslide. This was stolen in broad daylight through massive coordinated operations, and if they're able to steal this, because obviously we have time, we've got between now, January 5th, January 6th, you don't know what the outcome is going to be. But the fact that people are fighting, because to anybody that has two eyes or even a sense of what's going on, you would know this was stolen right from underneath you.
And what are you basing it on that Trump won by a landslide, as you say?
Oh, I was watching the election. 600,000 votes. I saw the hearings. I've listened to the hearings of testimonies from everyday Americans. These people have signed their names to affidavits under penalty of perjury. I've heard the cases. I've seen the video footage. That's what you can determine. I've actually talked to people that have said, well, I didn't vote this time, but my ballot was used. So that's massive fraud.
But what are your thoughts on the senators coming out and trying to contest?
Well, they should. They have the power to do it. The state legislatures have a lot of power based on the Constitution, and so does the vice president. So we'll have to see. You just really need one person that has an act of courage to come forward outside of President Trump, because obviously he's doing what he can and needs to do.
You might roll your eyes at the idea that people are still fighting this election, but for Trump's base, this is their existential fight.
Amen.
I love our president.
Yes, you love freedom. Yes.